right, so you probably heard this on the show. You probably heard me talk about it on the show. It's the ad that I always bring up, the Dark Fae Creations ad. I made a new one. It's a 2-minute long one. It's for the holidays. I'm going to go back to the 30-second ad pretty soon. But guess what?
What's up?
Dark Fae Creations sent me a package.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I have it right here right now. I'm about to open it. I'm about to see what they sent me. And all right, here goes.
Check it out.
Jeez, anybody have a knife around here? All right. Oh. Thank you for your purchase. Hand poured in Grass Valley, California. Card diffuser instructions on the back of this card.
It's basically our hometown almost.
Oh,
Grass
yeah.
Valley is close to Sacramento. You know that.
It is. I have a friend who lives there. This is our friend.
Cool.
There's a little
is this somebody from high school?
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
She went to high school with us.
Okay.
She now runs her business, so everybody check her out.
Nice. I'll have to check
out
I'll
the
have to
company.
Order something.
Check out the company, Dark Fae Creations. Check them out on Facebook. They have a page.
Look it up now. Spell it for me. Spell it for all of us. I'm gonna look it up right now.
Link in the show notes.
Okay. All right.
No,
okay.
Dark Fae Creations, DARK FAE Creations, CREATIONS.com. All one word.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm there now. It's very cool. Yeah, Grass Valley. I've been there a few times, but that's so cool. What was that? 45 minutes maybe from Sacramento proper?
Most definitely. Cool. It's
nice.
A candle. It's a nice little candle I got going. Oh, it smells. I told you it smells good. I'm doing the rock thing. I'm doing the rock smell. It smells so good. It's like,
what's it
if
smell
you
like?
smell, if you smell what Dark Fae Creations is cooking, they have an Instagram and a Facebook. Go check them out. You'll love it. Buy some products out of them for the holidays. You won't regret it.
Yeah, they have candles and wax melts here. That's cool.
Cotton wick.
Wow.
And so freaking beautiful. I'm gonna have to take a picture of this. I'm gonna put it on Instagram, show you guys what it looks like. It is slow. Oh, this one is natural coconut soy wax candle. It's called Serial Killer.
I was just looking at that one. That's funny. When you were done, I was gonna mention that one because I love like Fruity Pebbles and all that stuff, and it's citrus, cherry, and vanilla. I bet that's good. Yes,
Manufactured by Dark Fae Creations LLC, handcrafted in Grass Valley, California. It's a 10-ounce. Oh, I'm gonna keep this forever. I'm gonna order some more.
I was gonna say, don't even burn them, just keep them.
Yeah, just keep it in the. Oh, so freaking.
I see one called Spun Sugar. I bet you I'd like that. It's raspberry, sugar, and strawberry.
Most definitely.
That would be the one. I might have to order that in the cereal.
What's new, listeners? I'm Audra Howell, the host of 2 Cents Critic. Here on the program, we give reviews and recaps for books, movies, and TV shows, with a whole bunch of special guests who join in on the banter and breakdowns. Maybe you want to hear about a contemporary romance novel, like The Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. Or maybe you want to hear about an MCU show, like She-Hulk. Or how about the best movie of 2022? Or at least that's my opinion. Everything everywhere all at once. You can hear all of these discussions and more on 2 Cents Critic.
Welcome back, you beautiful, lovely podcast geeks. If this is your first time stumbling onto this show, I am your host, Ernie, and just like old habits die hard, alongside me is the Billy Gun to my road dog. We are the new age outlaws of this wrestling podcast. Well, either we are the old young version or we are the current version. Take
We're in
that
the
however,
middle.
right in the middle. Take that however you like. But just like DX in the late 2000s, we are scissoring our way into your beautiful ears just in time for episode 76. And tell you that we come to you directly from Under the Apron. Michael, I'm glad you're back.
I am back. What's going on, everybody?
Hey, the man, the myth, the legend, he's back. So yeah, I did 2 polls on Twitter this past week.
Okay.
The first one was done 2 weeks ago, and I asked if we should do more young rock reviews or movies, and it came back 100%. We should.
Oh, nice.
So,
all right. Well done.
So of course, our podcast colleagues suggested we also do movies. The So Wizard podcast suggested we watch the No Holds Barred movie from the 80s.
I love that movie.
You love that movie. I'll have to watch it, I guess. I've never seen it. But it's on my to-do list now that you said that is watchable.
Well, you just have to remember, you have to watch it through the eyes of, well, when did it come out? Like 88, 89? You have to watch it through your eyes in 88, 89. You can't watch it through your eyes.
So
your old
when
eyes
I'm like
now.
7-year-old me is like, woo!
Exactly.
All right. Our podcast bestie, AB from Mama Murder Podcast, suggested Mr. Nanny.
Okay. Yeah, I have to watch that one again. I've only seen it once, and that was when it was new.
Why are you watching these freaking terrible movies?
You never saw that?
I've never seen it.
Back then? You didn't beg your mom to take you to see that?
I've watched Suburban Commando.
Oh, I saw that too, of course.
Of course. It's like I've seen that one.
Thunder in Paradise on, I think it was, Channel 31, whatever it was back then.
That one season.
Yeah, well, that's fine, but I watched it.
And Punches and Popcorn podcast suggested to pick one with martial arts and cross over with them.
Ooh.
Well,
Would that be a wrestler in martial arts or just a martial arts movie?
Exactly what I asked. Like,
that makes a difference.
It does. The only martial arts wrestler in it that I can remember is the Three Ninjas Escape to Witch Mountain.
I think I can name another one though, and correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, go ahead.
Was it Escape to Witch Mountain or was that The Rock?
Oh no, that's The Rock. Something about Witch Mountain, that's The Rock. No, it was something like magic. Whatever. It was a
Magic Mountain.
A theme park. Yeah, it was something like that because it was a theme park.
Oh, here. Three Ninjas High Noon at Mega Mountain.
There you go.
Is that Western now?
I think I can name another martial arts movie that had a wrestler.
All right, go ahead.
An okay known wrestler. It was one of the Ong Bak movies. It had Nathan Jones in it. The guy that protected the elephants. The little Thailand guy that protected the elephants.
Okay, I've never seen... And it's Nathan Jones. Like, the only movie that I've seen with Nathan Jones in it was the one with Brad Pitt, the Greek mythology one. I forgot.
Oh, really? I don't...
What was it called?
I don't know. I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
Right.
No, I know it wasn't Gladiator. That was the other guy.
Yeah, the other...
Yeah. But I know what you're talking about, but I don't know the name of it.
Take it, it's yours. What was that? Achilles? Troy.
Okay. All right.
Troy. Yeah. Damn, that took me a while. But I've watched a lot of martial arts movies, so I'm just kidding, guys. Like, we can watch... I would say that my favorites are Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay.
And possibly Sidekicks with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis.
Yeah.
Like,
my god.
So, Punches and Popcorn, if you're interested.
There you go.
Larry, we could do those.
I like that movie. sidekick, where he like fell asleep and he thought he was in the movie.
Right. He had daydreams.
Yeah. Which is
Like,
funny because if we want to link it to a video game, there was a video game on NES back in the day called Daydreaming Davy. he would fall asleep and he would think like he was in hell, and he would think he was in the
these
Gladiator
movies.
days and all that. Western days.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yeah.
The second poll was for the name of the segment. I put out 2 options. Those 2 options came from you, obviously. Pinfalls and cast calls, or backdrops and backlots. And I'll let you decide who won that one.
Okay.
Guess who won?
Oh, which one? I'm gonna go with the pinfalls.
Pinfalls?
Yeah.
Nope. 50% chose backdrops and backlots.
Okay.
33.3% chose pinfalls and cast calls, and then 16.7% chose. Well, I let them write it in the comments, and our dear friend Drew from the Attitude Era Wrestling Review Podcast.
Okay.
Went to 10 on that one.
Oh. Can we even say them on air?
Yeah, we can. One of them was Tube with Boobs.
We could do that if we go over the Playboy. So.
Shows and Hoes.
Well, wow. Okay.
Wow. And Sin and Pin.
Okay, that's kind of cool. Like CIN.
See, cinema, yeah, and Sin and Pin.
Okay, I can go with that. That's kind of cool. Maybe one honorary episode we'll say this is yada yada featuring Sin and Pin.
When he shows up here, we're gonna do that. Like,
yeah,
we're gonna rename this episode on behalf of Drew.
There you go.
And
I like that one.
All right, thanks, Drew, for that little bit of information you gave us. So with that, welcome everyone to the first episode of our segment called Backdrops and Backlots, where we review TV shows and movies that a wrestler has appeared in. And there have been lots of movies and TV shows in the process. We will be reviewing and discussing the occasional Young Rock episodes, some heels as soon as we find them and as they are aired, as well as past movies like The Wrestler, the Marine franchise, 12 Rounds that we talked about. Yeah. And maybe, if you're lucky enough, we will do Ready to Rumble, starring WCW legend and World Heavyweight Champion David Arquette.
If we do that one, that shows that we love our fans.
I'm sure we'll get the Scream fans over.
Ooh. Well, Scream is good.
Justice for David
Arquette. He's a wrestler. We could watch Scream.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Basically, for the Halloween episode, that was going to be one of the movies that I was going to have on there.
Oh, okay.
But it didn't make it on time, so we're going to do another Halloween movies episode pretty soon.
Okay.
All right, so we are going to review episode 3 of Young Rock. Here at Under the Apron, we tend to watch the show and then look up bits of information on the credibility of the show and see if it's real or if The Rock made up for the storyline of the show. All right, so we're going to do a new thing here for the Young Rock episodes. Dwayne Johnson owns Teremana Tequila, so we thought what better way to rate these episodes than base it on how many shots of tequila would you take in order to get through Young Rock. 5 being I need to be in another dimension. 4 shots would be take me to bed already. 3 shots, what am I watching? What the hell is this? 2 shots, this episode not bad. It's like, all right, it's all right. It's in the middle. It was not really in the middle, but it's in there. It's there. It's okay. And 1 shot of tequila being the perfect companion to end the night. Previously on Young Rock, episodes 1 and 2 dealt with Dwayne stepping away from the politics after he lost the presidential election last season, but Randall Parks his best friend, goes to check in on him. He tells Randall a few stories that coincides with what he's trying to convey in real time. Last episode, he got a FaceTime call from the new president of the United States and asked him to help him, and America needs him to a coffee crisis. Fucking coffee. After telling him a story that will hopefully get through President Taft's head, he responds with a simple no. So here we are on episode 3 of Young Rock, titled On the Ropes. The synopsis of the episode is Hawaii, 1985. Ada finds her at odds with her rival at Leah's wrestling promotion. Rocky receives news that turns the family's world upside down. Dewey gets a job so he can buy a Nintendo. In 2033, Dwayne weighs a diplomatic mission. So the show opens up with Dwayne on the phone with Randall, who tells him he is on his way to play golf with his mom. He opens the door and Randall's right there. Dwayne asks how come he never hears him pull up. Randall changes the subject.
He drives the Prius.
2033, 2032. And he was like,
oh, they're all Prius.
They're all silent cars. Randall changed the subject and wants to talk about why he turned down the president. Apparently, saving coffee is not on Dwayne's 2032 to-do list. Or are we in 2033 then? Yeah, 2033. Saving coffee is not on Dwayne's 2033 to-do list. Randall tells Dwayne he will text Ada and tell her he can't come out to golf. They're in the Chicago Fire group chat. This just in, Chicago Fire is still out in 2033.
Well, they just made somebody happy. I don't know who, but somebody.
Hey, if Law and Order can still keep going after all these years, I guess Chicago Fire can also.
That's true. Yeah.
Either that or they missed the show so much that they started a group chat with other fans of the show.
Or maybe there's a remake or whatever. Like they're making a remake of Gossip Girl, which I will not watch. But anyway.
Oh wow.
You cannot redo it. Anyway, okay, go ahead.
There you go. Randall reminds Dwayne that the country is in crisis and is a national emergency because coffee.
Yeah, well, soccer moms got to get their fix.
Here's the storyline for season 3: coffee.
Or maybe it's Kofi.
Kofi. Or Kingston?
Yeah. Maybe it's coffee in Jamaica. Or, well, no, where's he supposed to be from?
Jamaica.
Well, no, he was from Ghana or something.
Ghana.
Sounds like he's from Jamaica, but apparently he's not Jamaican.
Okay.
I don't know.
Right. Dwayne tells Randall he just wants him to save his ass. I mean, if he didn't know it would take this kind of pressure to run the country as well as coffee, why take the job?
Right, exactly. You gotta know. America runs on Dunkin'. What? No, they don't sponsor us. Take that one out.
Wow. Hey, we're here for future sponsoring. So yeah, America runs on Dunkin'.
It does, and so do we.
And why ask the guy that he ran against? Why not ask a former president?
Yeah.
Unless Dwayne is a global ambassador and they come to him for just about everything. Is this how we're going to feel about him in 10 years?
I think so.
Coffee shortage. We need Dwayne. Might as well run for president. Randall asked Dwayne the question that is going to turn into a story time. Have you ever worked for someone you don't like? At the same time, Randall gets a text from Ada with 3 middle finger emojis as he wonders why he doesn't have that. Well, probably because he has an iPhone. I have that emoji.
We do have that on iPhone.
You do? I have it on mine. I've been Android.
We do. We do too on iPhone.
Okay. Well, it's probably him then.
He must have a sub.
Or 2033, they're gonna take out the middle finger emojis from the iPhone.
Yeah, that could be.
Before Randall can respond back, she calls him, and Dwayne tells her to go ahead and play around and get something to eat. They hang up, and Dwayne says it's perfect that his mom called because she used to work with someone she don't like, and that was Lars Anderson in Polynesian Pro Wrestling. Story time! Before we get into the gist of the show, a little backstory on Lars Anderson. Born Larry Heineme, started wrestling in 1965. He formed a tag team with his kayfabe brother, Gene Anderson, and also tagged with his other kayfabe brother, Ole Anderson. Anderson was the only real last name for Gene Anderson. Ole and Lars had changed their name to pretend to be the real-life brothers of Gene. He occasionally wrestled with them as the Minnesota Wrecking Crew. Lars did not have the success that the other Andersons had. Ole's real name is Alan Robert Rogowski, who in 1986 was a founding member of the Four Horsemen, along with his kayfabe brother Arn Anderson, whose real name is Martin Anthony Lunde. Back to Lars. You know, we played that Taylor Swift anti-hero song last week for Hogan.
Yeah.
After taking a look at this man's career, I think we should play it for him as well.
Okay, that's fair. You can recycle music. The Kurt Angle, didn't he use what was his name? The Patriots music? No.
Yeah.
So we can do that.
We can do that. Besides the stuff you're about to hear on this episode of Young Rock, because Dwayne goes in on him, he also allegedly threw a can of Coke at Jim Crockett and proceeded to throw him against the wall, all the while Bruiser Brody was egging him on to beat him up. Hey, Bruiser Brody was problematic also.
Yeah, well.
But, yeah, we won't get into that one. But
yeah.
He was problematic also. Doesn't mean that he deserved what happened to him, but, just in case, he was problematic also. Another incident occurred when, as a teenager, Dwayne Johnson angrily confronted Anderson when he refused to drop the Polynesian Pacific Heavyweight title to Bad News Allen. All right, back to the show. 1985, Ada was helping Leah in her wrestling promotion while Rocky Johnson continued to work in the WWF. The first black WWF Tag Team Champion, Soul Man, Rocky Johnson, and Tony Atlas. I forgot we were back. Okay, cool. Since the whole incident that Rocky was wrestling for someone else in the past few episodes during WrestleMania 1 season, Vince had decided to book them to lose the tag team titles to Dick Murdoch and adorable Adrian Adonis. Remember those guys?
I do.
Back at home, while 2033, Dwayne is doing the monologue and giving us the flashback scene when Vince told Rocky to get that knife out of his back. Rocky walks over to his mailbox and gets 2 checks from the WWF. One for $1,800 and the other was $5,000. Rocky thought it was a stowaway and keeps the check, starting to buy outlandish things, especially some gold carat, 250 rhinestone encrusted glasses. He puts them on, flexes them in front of Sheiky Baby and Randy Savage, and Tony Atlas is there too, and they can see he bought himself something expensive. Tony tells Rocky he should have bought something for him due to costing the belts and pissing off Vince. Rocky assures Tony that Vince isn't pissed off or anything. Sheiky and Savage know a thing or two because they seemed sus about that. They know how petty Vince was. They seen her sing or two. Dewey walks in from school and tells him cool glasses and that he looks like a richer Black Elvis. Because that was pretty fun at the time. So yeah, now I see why Tony's all upset about that.
Yeah.
With the whole Saba Simba and all that gimmick that that was thrusted upon him because he was living on the streets on a park bench. We get what the arena looks like in PPW. Ada in the front row with Downtown Bruno watching Randy Savage in the match against Bad News Allen or Brown, depending on when you first saw him. He's here being played by rapper slash actor Anthony Darrell. Ada then turns her attention to her mom, who is talking to Lars Anderson. She whispers something in her ear about the match, and she agrees with him. Later, Ada is talking to Alan, and he's telling her a story about an incident that happened with Aretha Franklin at the Hotel Bel Air. Cue the Bad News Allen's resume. All right, former bodyguard to Aretha Franklin. That's got to be freaking amazing. Olympic bronze medalist in judo in the 1976 Olympics.
That's very cool.
And he was trained by Dwayne's grandfather, Peter Mayabeya.
Huh. I didn't know that.
What was that?
I said I did not know that.
Okay. And that's just the show version. He started out working in New Japan. He worked for WWF. They say another W. All right, whatever. WWF.
3WF.
3WF. Stampede Pro Wrestling in Canada with Bret Hart. And finally in the WWE in the 80s. He eventually won the Polynesian Pacific Heavyweight Championship against Lars Anderson and dropped the belt back to him 3 months later. Ada and Alan continue talking. Lars, played by Mike Hawley, interrupts the conversation, and they tell him they were talking stories about the Queen of Soul. Lars questions it. Is it Little Richard? All right. Lars tells Ada there's a cup of dip spit on the fax machine, pats her on her shoulder, and walks away, leaving his handprint of baby oil on her shirt. So why couldn't he take that off? Why couldn't he take it?
Well, he was too important. That's not his job.
Yeah. Alan is concerned and asks how's it been working for Lars for the last couple of weeks. She smiles and nods and says in a high-pitched voice, "It's good." And then you hear Dwayne's monologue, "But it wasn't good." Dwayne tells a story that even as a booker, he booked himself to be the PPW champion 5 times.
Oh, wow.
This wasn't on the show, but I had a little search in there that I did. He defeated.
Yes, so.
He's a booker. He booked himself to defeat like every major star in the company. First one was Siva Afi, part of the Hawaiian family there. Roy Starr, Bad News Allen, and Superfly Tui Selinga. He also won the PPW Tag Team Championship once with New Japan Pro Wrestler, or was it Japan Pro Wrestling, Saiji Sakaguchi. Dwayne explains that his abrasive personality alienated a lot of the wrestlers. One incident, he went up to Jake the Snake Roberts, played by Benjamin Arthur, who was showing Ada his python. When Lars walks up to Jake, pinches his stomach, and says he's too fat. Oh, we fighting.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
He pinches the snake and looks at Jake in the eyes and says, "The snake too." Oh, I'm throwing the snake at him. We're fighting and I'm throwing that snake at him? Yeah. There's no way you're going to tell me I'm fat and the snake too. Snake has feelings also.
Yeah.
The snake, but still. Another instance is when Ada is talking to her mom in her office and Lars barges in with his long shirt and his wrestling Speedos, blowing a Hawaiian longhorn, saying he's going to use it in his entrance from now on. Oh, he's going to offend some people. That's basically it. Like he's not supposed to have that. Come on.
Yeah, it's not the native to him.
That's a Hawaiian thing. That's for the people of Hawaii. Yeah. Back from commercial break, Ada reminds Rocky to pay the rent. We see a montage of Rocky checking the mail every day for a check to come and hasn't gotten any. Back in 2033, Randall asked Dwayne what was he doing while this was happening. Dwayne says he wanted a Nintendo. So did we. We all wanted that Nintendo.
Yeah.
He was Metroid Prime kind of guy, especially the shocking ending and the big reveal of, spoiler alert, it's already old, Metroid being a girl this whole time. Amazing storytelling.
It was a big deal back then.
It was a big deal. It's like, what? Oh my god, it's really a girl. We all played as a girl. Yeah. Some of us didn't really care. It didn't really matter. Others, they had. It was a big deal to some kids. To others, it was a shocking big deal. I've been playing a girl this whole time. Oh my gosh. He told Randall getting a Nintendo was a pivotal moment in time. Yes, it was. He was also trying to navigate the popularity and politics of middle school. We see a kid played by Jordan McCall Williams, who looks exactly like Bryton James, who played Little Richie Williams on Family Matters. You know that one kid with the Jerry curl hair? Yeah, that kid. Yeah, that kid. He looks kind of like him. Richie Williams was a little light skinned, and so this kid was kind of on that as well. It was close. Dewey walks up to a group of kids talking about Nintendo, and he's just clueless because how the hell do you not know about Nintendo? Like, everybody knows about Nintendo, dude.
Yeah.
He makes up some sorry excuse. Wow, big deal. Saying he was out gallivanting at Cyndi Lauper's party with his dad, Rocky Johnson, pro wrestler. The way he says it is like, yeah, I don't have time for that. My dad's Rocky Johnson. Or what? A girl chimes in on, oh, you mean the wrestler that just lost his belt? And right there took me back to how we used to be in middle school.
Yeah.
Like, we used to, like, go up, talk about it, like, yeah, I'm Team Ultimate Warrior, Team Macho Man, Team Hulk Hogan. Well, Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk Hogan's ass. What? And he did. Whatever. Well, Macho Man beat Ultimate Warrior. Well, Ultimate Warrior retired Macho Man. It's like, oh, man. Can't win. But it's, we all used to be made fun of for that, too, at the same time. But the fact that there was a scene where they made it seem like wrestling was cool enough to talk amongst the cool people table with a few mean girls.
No, that's not true.
That took me back. I mean, it's not. It wasn't really like that, but like I didn't see any cool kids talking about wrestling.
That's right. That's what I mean.
Like, to us, we were the cool kids. We were talking about wrestling. Everybody else that passed by were talking wrestling during our lunch break. Everybody's all like, "You guys still watch that?"
It's fake, right?
Oh, that was in high school, but in middle school, we just went and said that, and even some of the teachers overheard and got involved. They're like, "You guys still watch that?" And like, "Yeah," and they're like, oh, "Okay." So it's like, and then once we got to high school, it's like, it's F word, right? Like the F word. I'm like, it's fake, right? I'm like, yeah, okay. No, it's not. Explain this.
Right. But he really did. He's really known on the show. He weren't an expert.
Oh yeah, how can Rick Rude be on Nitro and Raw at the same time, huh?
Yeah. We don't do that.
We don't do that. Next scene, Dewey shows off Lauper's bangle that she gave him. This kid is walking around school with a bangle that doesn't fit him. No, not weird at all. But, go off, man. Back at home, Rocky's talking to Pat Patterson, but seems to be busy with his partner, Louise' niece's birthday, and isn't a good time. Patterson gets yelled at by Louie to put the phone down and help him with the balloons. Rocky complains to Patterson that he's been checking the mail for his checks and he hasn't gotten anything. Patterson lets out that, oh, shit, you don't know, Grown? That people do? It's like, okay. Hey, I haven't gotten that check in the mail yet. See, I see what you don't know. Here, let me tell you. Let me break it down for you, buddy. He tells Rocky that wasn't a bonus check. It was severance. Been there. Yeah. Well, then somebody should have called him and told him he was fired.
Right.
Give him that good luck in your future endeavors a speech.
Well,
exactly.
They didn't call it that.
They didn't tell him. They didn't. Nobody had that job at the time. Not even Mr. People Power. Don't forget to tell your kid to look us up when he's ready for the big leagues, kind of thing.
Were you imitating Mr. Bella?
Mr. Bella. How come I never remember his name? Real name.
Laurinaitis. John Laurinaitis.
John Laurinaitis. Laryngitis.
Hawk. Laryngitis. Hawk's brother. No, not Hawk. Animal's brother.
Animal's brother. John Laurinaitis.
Is Animal Jim Laurinaitis? Or maybe he's Jim Laurinaitis.
Jim Laurinaitis.
Is who? Is Mr. Bella or Animal?
Animal.
Oh, okay, so then John is Mr. Bella.
Jim and John. Yeah. Rocky hangs up the phone, has that anxiety look that we all have when we need money. Anxiety look that I have now. Tells Ada that it was bad news, Alan. Hey, close enough.
It was bad news.
It was. I'm afraid I have some bad news.
Yeah.
Dewey comes. Was that?
Bad news, John.
Bad news, John. Dewey comes walking in from school talking about he wants a Nintendo and he needs it now. He's reminded that he already has an Atari. Again, we get that reminder of what our childhood used to be and how he go from one gaming system to the next. Atari in the 70s, the Nintendo Entertainment System in 1985, and then the Super Nintendo in 1992. Definitely had those. I had the Super Nintendo. We had
that one. Yeah, 95. I think I got my Super.
Right? Yeah, I had it in 92. It came out. We had it. Yeah, we had to wait when we were children.
Oh yeah, because it's not like now.
Yeah.
Where we have jobs and shit now, so we can kind of.
It's too expensive.
Well, we won't get into that. Well, because now, gaming systems come out at like $600.
Right. There was a lot of games that came out, but we still had to wait for another 4 years. I'm sure the Sega Genesis was in between somewhere there, and we can probably talk about.
Yeah, because here's the funny thing, which I didn't know. The Genesis, I think, might have come out before the Super Nintendo. Because I thought the Genesis was a competitor of NES, and I actually had the Master System and didn't even put 2 and 2 together. This Master System was the competitor to the NES, and the Genesis was the competitor to SNES. But I knew about the Genesis before I knew about the Super Nintendo. But at least in my recollection, that came out first.
I had the Super Nintendo first, and then the Sega Genesis after.
Oh, well, I got my Genesis later.
Because I've seen my cousin play Sonic, and I was just like, I want one of those. I want to play one of those. Like, all right.
Did you ever have the Master System?
No.
That was the original Sega. The Sega Master System.
I've heard about that.
It had a jungle. I think it might have been called Jungle. I don't know what it's called, but basically the Nintendo had the Duck Hunt, and they had a game that was similar, but it had like Black Panthers and snakes.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I had. And then I had a game called Hang On, which was a motorcycle. It was similar to Excite Bike.
Okay. sure we can probably talk a whole lot about gaming systems and games that we used to play. We already talked about our toys and wrestling action figures in episode 53, but we can probably get more in depth about our wrestling video games.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a bunch of them. Yeah, I just looked it up. The Sega Genesis came out in '89.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The Super Nintendo was what, 92, 93?
92, 93. I remember having it.
So they came out with their 16-bit.
Cool.
Yeah. Huh.
Back to the show. Dewey's told to get a job if he wants to buy a Nintendo. Kid is 13 years old and is being told to get a job already. Rocky's reminded again if he paid the rent. Rocky says yes. The next scene is Rocky at a pawn shop trying to sell the gold carat glasses at a higher price, but the shop owner asks for $80. He knows it's Rocky Johnson, who he asks him what else he has. Yeah, pawn shop owners, of course.
Yeah.
Best I can do is $80.
They got to expert down first.
Right. Back from commercial break, Dewey explains to Leah that he needs money to buy a Nintendo and needs a job to get money. Leah instead convinces Dewey to come work for him instead of a filth of a food restaurant where they are currently eating. Hey, the filth of the restaurant that are currently eating is good, okay? Just because the floor is dirty and you see rats on the floor doesn't mean I'm kidding. No, we're good. Never eating there. Back at home, Ada discovers that the coffee table is gone and that Rock dyed his hair platinum blonde. She tells him that he looks like Grace Jones, model, singer, actress, known for her role as Zula in the 1984 movie Conan the Destroyer, Mayday in the 1985 James Bond-esque A View to a Kill. In 1999, she was ranked 82nd by VH1's 100 Greatest Women of Rock and Roll. So that's what Rocky looks like with that hair.
I'm going to cut you off for a second. I need to get my energy back. I'm going to go grab my Zoa and bring it in.
This episode of Under the Apron is sponsored by Anchor. If you haven't heard yet, Anchor by Spotify is the easiest way to make a podcast with all the tools you need, all in one place. Just type in anchor.fm on your browser and start creating that podcast that you've been talking about starting all year long. Take advantage of Anchor's creation tools. You can record, edit, add music, or any type of audio you like right from your phone or computer. Anchor will then distribute your podcast on many different listening platforms, such as Spotify, Apple, Google, or even Stitcher. And that's just to name a few. It's everything you need to make a podcast. And want to know what's the best part about it? Absolutely, totally free. Join us and download the Anchor app on your phone or go to anchor.fm on your browser to get started right away. Link will be in the show notes.
Welcome back, podcasting geeks. Don't worry, the show's almost halfway over. Just sit back, relax, and light up a candle from Dark Fae Creations and just... Huh? Wait, what? You don't have a Dark Fae Creations candle? What do you mean you don't? I've only mentioned it for about 20 episodes. Alright, here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna go to darkfaecreations.com. All one word. Fine, I'll have the link in the show notes. And you're gonna buy yourself a unique cotton wick candle. Just go check it out for yourself. I'll wait. And while I'm waiting and you're clicking on the site and browsing, pick up the vibrant, colorful, marble tops, mouth freaking watering fragrances. It makes me want to do that rock sniff that he does all the time. They're fueled by lovely braided cotton wicks. They are paper threads woven into every cotton wick for a clean, romantic, slow, and consistent burn. Are you deciding? Each candle is unique from the next because they are hand mixed and hand poured in good old Grass Valley, California. They use only coconut and soy wax for a safer,
cleaner, and almost 72 hours burn time. That's like 3 days worth of binge time on whatever podcast you're listening to or TV show you're watching. And not only do they care about the look, but also the quality and fragrance of the candles and the effects it has in your homes. So check them out. Buy a few this holiday season. Buy them for birthdays. Buy them for wedding gifts. Or just buy them for yourself. You deserve that. But let me know which one you picked up. Once again, that's darkfaecreations.com. Link will be in the show notes.
Are we going to do the opening? The grand opening of this pineapple coconut Zoa?
Go for it.
All right. Should we make history on the show and have me read the Everyday Warrior?
Go for it.
All right. Well, normally our good friend Ernie does this, but since he's not partaking, Zoa is about healthy, positive energy that helps us all focus, be productive, and get stronger together. Mana, gratitude, Zoa. Dwayne Johnson.
All right.
I do like this pineapple coconut. I like the coconut flavor. Like I taste the pineapple at first, and then the coconut is like the aftertaste, and I like that.
Awesome. Yeah. I didn't get coconut this time. I got
Do you like that?
No.
Do you like it, or are you not a fan?
No, I think one of them I didn't like. I forgot which one.
I could see. I think the super berry is one of those because I feel like the super berry sometimes can come off as a little medicinal.
Right.
But yeah, I love this. I don't think this is one. I think I'm saying I think the pineapple coconut is more of like a drink it like now, like how we're doing the show. But I don't think it would be one I would want to drink before a workout. I think I like the fruit punch before a workout and the orange.
Rocky tries to spin the story, but he tells her the truth. He sold the furniture, his glasses, his necklaces, and dyed his hair to pay the rent. He figured if he changed his look and his hair that maybe Vince would take him back. No, not forever petty Vince.
Well, you know what he could have done if he would have been forward thinking? He could have said that he was really brother Elias.
Oh my.
Or is that oh never mind. Sorry, that's another story.
Oh yeah, that's funny. Aza tells Rocky it's WWE's loss and PPW's gain. He gets to work for them now. Or so they think. Ada, Rocky, and Leah have a private meeting in her office with Lars involved, sitting on the couch with his oversized shirt and Speedos. Can this man sit down like a professional and do what wrestlers do and not wear pants?
That's part of the outfit. It's kind of like Homer Simpson, kind of any cartoon. They always wear the same outfit. That was just his outfit. It was like,
Yeah,
the rest were always around.
Never wear pants.
Of course.
We don't wear pants. Already starting rough, Lars comments on Rocky's boot. And where's the rodeo? Rocky swings back with nice outfit, and if he needs some pants, he can loan Lars some. Don't ever mess with family, especially a soul man. He'll roast you right back. The tension in that meeting must have been like a machete slicing through the jungle. Rocky explains WWF didn't renew his contract because of the Saudi Arabia thing that happened. Ada wants to bring in Rocky into PPW full time. Leah thinks it's a wonderful idea. Lars intervenes and says he's playing devil's advocate and thinks it would be a conflict of interest here, a wife hiring her husband. Ada gets in there too. No more to the booker booking himself to win the championship 5 times. Rocky says there is no conflict in putting WWF champion. Lars again has something to say. Former champ, actually. There's only one champ in his room, and that's him. Why is he even there?
Well, he's breaking into the American market, the continental market.
Right. Rocky asks, does it count if he puts the belt on himself? Lars tells him that at least he has a belt. What does Rocky have? Ooh. Rocky gets up from his seat and tells him he has the ability to whoop his ass. That's what he got. They get face to face. They continue to roast each other. Leah yells at them both. Rocky's hired, but the three of them need to find a way to get along. Lars is toxic. Play that song again for Lars.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
Dewey overhears a conversation between his grandma and Lars about not being a good idea to hire Rocky. He tells her clearly he has some money problems. But isn't that why we look for jobs? Because we have money problems?
That's why I look for jobs.
It's like, no, I want to work here because I enjoy working.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah. So I only looked up some bit of information on Lars for this episode and the trouble he caused. He tells Leah to be careful because he thinks Rocky is selling something people are tired of buying. Dude, Lars has it out for Rocky.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to drop the belt to Bad News Allen.
Well, and it was a different time back then, too, so...
Hey, we're gonna have to go deep on Lars
Yeah,
and why he was being so petty.
We're
gonna have to go in on him. Back from commercial break, Rocky's wrestling in the ring with Bad News Allen, and they whisper the match to each other. They're going on about how this match is going to end. Just as Rocky is telling Allen how to go home, a Hawaiian Longhorn is heard. Lars Anderson comes out. Allen tells Rocky, "Welcome to pro wrestling with Lars." Rocky still doesn't know what the hell's going on and is confused as to why Lars is interrupting the match. He pushes Bad News out of the ring and squares up to Lars, who brings in a chair. Rocky yells at him, saying this was supposed to be his return match, but Lars tells him there's been a change of plans. All right, so either Rocky has to be the businessman or go into business for himself and not take the hit from Lars. But as Dwayne says in his monologue about Rocky, he was a pro, so he allows Lars to hit him with the chair. I wouldn't have done that. Like, nah, man, get out of here. Not only that, he also hits Allen with the chair. Lars Anderson stands in the middle of the ring with his hands held high while he just took down two black wrestlers that could probably beat his ass.
Yeah.
Bad News Allen is a badass on his own. He called out Andre the Giant once for saying something racist. He could definitely take down Lars. He could definitely take down Lars. Back in the locker room, Rocky feels disrespected. Ada tells him that she has to deal with this all the time. Lars walks into the dressing room and Rocky gets in his face, calling him Swiss Miss. He tells Lars that he took all the shine to himself on his return match. Lars disagrees, assures Rocky that him interfering in the match had the fans popping for him like crazy. Ada tells Lars tonight wasn't about him, it was about Rocky. Lars disagrees again and says that the last time he checked, he calls the shots. He's the booker man. Man, Lars was power hungry, power crazy.
He ran the whole thing according to himself.
All right, according to himself. Ada reminds him that they're equals. Lars tells Ada that his back is aching from carrying her night after night, insulting her in the process. Lars leaves, walks past Dewey and Bruno, who are cleaning the locker room. Dewey watches his parents argue and his dad mimic trying to strangle Lars. Later that night, Ada, Rocky, and Leah are at a restaurant. Ada starts off the conversation about how difficult Lars is to work with. Very, very problematic, and not just between him and Rocky, but the other boys that work there think so also. Ada tells her mom they can't work with him anymore. She gives her mom an ultimatum. Either Lars goes or they go. Leah tells them yes, PPW is a family business, but it's also her business, and business right now is good. They are doing better with him. They are getting profits. She is getting money back, and that's la as she calls them, and Last Days. Well,
Mars
damn,
is too long.
right?
It's a very long.
Ada tells her mom they're leaving and starting their own promotion, a company similar to PBW before Lars came in and got his hands on it and took over. Leah looks heartbroken at this, but at the same time, she thinks Ada is being silly and wants some attention. So she tells them both she wishes them best of luck. She smiles at her daughter and asks if she should order the onion rings. Dude, you just told your daughter you want nothing to do with her and you want the onion rings.
Right.
Both Anada and Rocky are heartbroken. Grandma chose the toxic, problematic, and probably racist over her own family. I definitely got racist vibes out of him. What do you say?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, absolutely. And back then, too, yeah.
Hey, 70s, 80s? Was it? Yeah, it was 80s.
I'm not even mad about it because that's the way it was. I mean,
Right.
What are you going to do?
Cancel Lars.
The problem
Back
is
in
not enough people know who the hell he is. How can you cancel something that was never really started?
right. Back in 2033, after listening to the story, Randall questions the story. She didn't swallow her pride for the greater good. She quit. Basically, the exact opposite of what he's telling Dwayne to do with President Taft. Back in 1985, Dewey comes home with the news that he got paid. Rocky asks him if he got that Nintendo. Dewey shows him what he got. Instead, the gold rhinestone glasses that he sold at the pawn shop for $80. So if you bought them back, how much would he have freaking bought them back for? Like he sold them for $80 because like I know best I can do
it
is
back
80.
for like $150.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm sure he paid almost double.
Dewey saw the receipt for it in the locker room when he was cleaning and thought he should go buy it back. So that his check basically.
Yeah, he used all this.
They go to a restaurant and eat and celebrate, and Dewey is wearing the glasses. They're heavy. Rocky reminds Dewey that there are 250 rhinestone on those glasses, so be careful. Dewey says, nope, 249 now. He counted them himself.
Well,
Rocky then says, the wear and tear of time.
would you say that weary is that wears the rhinestone glasses?
There it is. Kings.
Yeah. You know who would have really looked good in those glasses?
Who?
Guy with the long sideburns and his hair slicked back.
Oh my.
Came to your town in a pink Cadillac.
Wow. He would. Definitely would. Honky Tonk Man. Yeah. Randall tells Dwayne that buying those glasses back was a good move. It wasn't what Rocky wanted, but it was for the greater good. See, Randall learned a thing or two about The Rock's stories over the years, and now he's using it against him. Dwayne still doesn't want to crawl back to President Taft, but Randall says he always ends up doing the right thing for the greater good. Because saving coffee is for the greater good in this situation. Yeah, sure.
It absolutely is. Without coffee, we would
Randall asks, yeah?
So I would say we'd all become Resident Evil. We'd all be zombies.
Oh my gosh.
To avoid a zombie outbreak, we need coffee.
Randall asks Dwayne, what if he buys him a Nintendo? Dwayne thinks about it and says, fine, he'll do it, but only for the good of the country, the greater good.
Need a hero.
Oh, goodness. And that's the end of that episode. What'd you think of it?
Oh, I think it wasn't as good as the first two seasons. But I liked it. I mean, it was. It's fun. They're fun episodes. I think if you take it for what it is, but I definitely love the show overall. I don't think it was the best episode, but it wasn't the worst.
Right, it wasn't the worst. It was kind of in between. What about coffee?
I think that's just funny. I mean, you don't want it to be like, oh, Dwayne Johnson, we need you to stop a nuclear war. Like, not on a sitcom. So
Not
I
a
think for
sitcom.
what it
We
is,
need
I
to
think
stop
it's
laughing.
funny. I
Yeah.
think it fits, right? It's a funny show. It's a fun show. So why not? I wouldn't expect anything else other than a coffee crisis from our future president.
A coffee crisis. Yeah, that's true. So if anything happens to coffee, we know who to blame.
There you
The
go.
president. We'll blame the president just as much as we blame them for gas prices.
Yeah.
Wow. Um, and you said it wasn't the best and it wasn't the worst. But
Well,
all
I
right,
haven't
yeah.
seen a bad episode yet, but I'm saying it's not. I think I haven't. I would say, let's say if it was rating a 1 to 10, the worst episode is probably a 6. So I don't think I've seen anything less than that. I mean, some of them are really, really funny. Some of them are like, okay, that's cute. But I've never seen a bad episode to me of Young Rock.
I haven't seen that bad episode either. They're all been like pretty good and
They're either good or
consistent.
really good.
They're they've been pretty consistent in telling the story and how funny they are, the comedy, and the fact that Randall is in every episode.
Well, I like it. See, he's funny. I like their interactions. I think the best interactions are between Rock and Randall. I think that they're so natural. Like, what was the episode? You don't have to necessarily tell me the name of it, but the episode where was Randall like singing? Like he was saying that he was like a singer at one point, like American Idol or something.
Yeah,
And he was I forgot what the song was, but
that last season, and they were talking about the dad.
I think
I think you brought it up last season. And
Okay.
It's like a few episodes back.
And he was just like, no, stop singing. And he kept singing.
It was when Dwayne was trying to call Simone and his other daughter.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. He was singing, and then Randall started singing with him or something like that. Yeah.
I think he says, like, I'm going to call my daughter future NXT Women's Champion. No, I'm kidding. He didn't say any of that. He
didn't say that.
He didn't say that, but like.
Well, no, wait a minute. If his daughter was that young at that time, that means he had more kids. Because think about it. Like, his daughters now in 2033 are going to be like 14, 15 years old.
Simone is like.
Well, she'll be like 30.
30?
But
no.
I'm saying.
Yeah, around there.
So in the future, if he was singing to a daughter in 2032, it must have been a young daughter. I guess he's going to have more kids.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, for that last one, I'll give it a 2.
Give it a 2?
Cozy.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 1. Just like, okay, cool. Okay. It's like, it's a 1 because it tells a story, but it's like kind of a 2 because, okay, the Lars story, and then you find out all that stuff. So, yeah.
Definitely. I said I haven't seen a bad episode yet, so.
Right. It's pretty fun episodes too. So yeah, you have 2. I'm a 1. Very good.
Movies and feelings. Pop, pop. Bring Your Own Popcorn is a podcast that dives into people and the movies who love them. Let us preach to your choir or stoke your ire as we spiral down memory lane with cult classics, Jurassics, and other genres that rhyme with traffic. What we lack in education, we make up for with comedy, compassion, and camaraderie. I'm your host, Mixtape Majesty, inviting you to join me and an assortment of wonderful guests on fine podcast apps everywhere. Bring your own popcorn.
Welcome back to Backlots and Backdrops, and another episode of Young Rock. It is episode 4, Night at the Chi-Chi's. The synopsis is Bethlehem, 1988. Teenage Dwayne is locked in a restaurant overnight with his father when Rocky agrees to deep clean the space. In 2033, Dwayne feels nostalgia for a vintage arcade game he finds far from home. All right, so the episode starts in Belgium. Belgium? There was a lot of G's and J's. That's all I remember. Belgium. Dwayne and Randall are being transported in a car to the Prime Minister's mansion. Home? The place where she resides? What would you call it?
Yeah, I mean, palace. What it looks
Mansion.
like.
It would look like a mansion.
Yeah.
It looked like something. They're there to save coffee. So it's a national emergency, so to speak. They are there to make a trade deal. They enter and wait in what looks like a collection room filled with mostly the Rock's memorabilia.
I wish I
Some,
had that room.
yeah, right. I mean, that is the best room so far. Some action figures and lunchboxes in the glass cabinet, some Rock posters on the wall, a purple Macho Man case, Hulk Hogan bobblehead, Roddy Piper toys. Dude, I want this room.
Yeah.
That's like my dream room right there. Like, how much is all this worth?
Oh. Well, we're gonna have to do a lot more episodes before we can let me pay for that.
Exactly. As Dwayne and Randall step inside and admire the place, pause it at just the right moment when they step in, and you see championship belts adorned on the top of the glass cabinet. I could just pause it and tell you what was on there, but for the sake of this episode, we're not going to do that. We'll probably do a one-off episode and list off all the things that we just saw.
Yeah.
The championship belts, though, 2 of them are from the 90s. One is just recent in 2022, and it looks like the Universal Championship.
Oh wow! I have to go back and look at that again.
But if you pause it at just the right moment, it looks like the poster of The Rock has that championship belt around his waist.
That's funny. Huh? Maybe that's an Easter egg then.
Easter egg. Maybe it's a stretch, or maybe it's an Easter egg. Axel Guzman pointed out on his TikTok and shared it on Twitter. At some point, maybe next year, or who knows, years from now, the way they are teasing it since last season, there will be a Rock versus Roman Reigns for the Undisputed World Championship. Or, hear me out. And I don't mean to ruin your little moment here. No, I'm not ruining any moments. The Prime Minister could be a collector, as you see in the scene, where she has countless of old school memorabilia like the arcade games. And this is 2032. By that time, the Universal Championship will be considered old school.
Yeah, there you go. See, I didn't think about that. Okay.
I mean, I love that I would love that for it to be the real thing. The Prime Minister is a massive wrestling fan just like us, and the collection wouldn't be complete without that championship belt. You know how us collectors do. We want everything that has to do with The Rock. So, or the WWE. So I want that belt. I want to buy that belt. She probably has the NXT title somewhere in the other rooms. We didn't see the whole room. Does that mean that Dwayne Johnson's going to be the NXT champion soon? No, it doesn't.
No.
Back to the show, though. Both Randall and Dwayne step inside the room, and they are in awe of all the stuff they see, from pinball machines to arcade games to even DVDs. DVDs, those are old.
Yeah, by then.
Yeah, we don't do DVDs anymore by that time. It's like streaming and stuff. Probably a DVD collection.
Yeah, that'd be like, oh wow, you have those? It'd be like 8-track.
DVDs are the new VHS.
VHS. Yeah.
The Prime Minister's assistant Reed thanks Dwayne for coming along with his friend. Randall tells her who he is and that he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp. That
movie.
That Marvel movie, you know, that was 12 years ago. On 2033, that's like 12 years ago.
Okay. Because I've heard of Ant-Man. I've never heard of the Wasp.
No, Ant-Man and the Wasp is a movie.
Oh, is it? See, I didn't know it.
So by that time, it's like I don't think anybody's gonna remember that he was in that movie.
Was he actually in it?
Yeah, he was.
Oh, was he?
He's a part of the Marvel universe. He's around there.
Oh,
He
wow,
goes,
really?
so he goes around and stuff.
Okay.
Randall played a cop in those two movies. He's still a cop. Or he was an FBI agent also, and cop. No, I think he was an agent. Reed tells them it's a pleasure to have them at the Belgium estate. She leaves, and both Dwayne and Randall start getting nostalgic about the toys and the games and the 1993 Royal Rumble pinball game. That was it was the 1993 Royal Rumble pinball game because Hulk Hogan's in it. They pass by what looks like the Shrine of the Rock. Okay, so if he did win the Universal Championship, why isn't that blue belt right next to where the probable Intercontinental title and the WWE Championship are placed? Like, she has a special dedication for him.
Yeah.
So if he did win it, why isn't that belt there also? Like, if we're assuming that he did win it, like, why isn't that belt there also? Instead, it's up high, whereas these three belts, the Brahma Bull, the IC, the one that's like gold, and the Eagle belt.
Well, maybe it's up there because that's like they're saying that's the pinnacle that he reaches.
All right.
That the ultimate last belt he ever won.
They seem to be placed right in the spot that's dedicated for him, while the other belt on the wall is the old 1990s design. Like, they had the winged eagle in there also.
Oh, and he never had that.
Right. See, he never had the winged eagle.
Okay.
So she's a collector. She's a collector. I'm just gonna say it. She's a collector. Yeah. Dwayne looks at the WrestleFest arcade game, and it takes him back. Buckle up, because there comes another story time.
Did you ever play that game? I've never played it.
Which one?
Superstars. I never played WrestleFest.
No, I never heard of WrestleFest. I don't think they had it in my laundromat that day.
Yeah, right. I played it. Well, not that, but I played Superstars at the skating ring at King's Skate Country is where I played Superstars. I never played WrestleFest.
Okay. They go back to 1987. Teen Dwayne just got served dinosaur hash browns by his mom. She leaves for work to go clean houses, and Rocky comes home from a long night of hanging out with the boys, as he says. Later on that night, Dwayne decides to follow his dad to wherever he's sneaking out. Rocky walks inside the Chi-Chi's family restaurant, the Tex-Mex chain, and the best chimichangas Dwayne has ever tasted. Dwayne gets upset and says, I'm eating baby hash browns, and he's ordering all-you-can-eat fajitas. Hell no. He walks inside the restaurant with a purpose. I've never had a Chi-Chi's. What can you tell me about Chi-Chi's?
I just remember, so when I moved from California to Maryland in 1999, there was a Chi-Chi's maybe like 5 miles from where we lived. And when the Ravens went, I think they went to the Super Bowl. Well, they were in the playoffs and won the Super Bowl, I guess, 2000-2001 season. We went and watched that there, and I even did karaoke a couple times. And then I just know a few years later they closed, and at least back then what they said was that there was like rats in the kitchen and all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
But they were there and they were popular and the food was good, and then they were gone.
Okay. All right, I see. I've never been to one. I don't know how that feels. Back to the show, Rocky is seen talking to the manager. Dewey walks up and asks for an explanation. Rocky begins to tell Dwayne his story, same monologue narration style that Dwayne has. A few days prior, Rocky was pumping gas on his truck when a fan approached him and asked him if he wanted to make some money. We all do. He tells him, go down to Chi-Chi's, talk to the manager, and tell him Don sent him. And he does. My manager is just credited as that manager, being played by Jim O'Hare. He yells at Rocky saying Don hasn't showed up to work for weeks, and now he's sending people over like he's doing him a favor. Anyone those kinds of people? They're done with their dead-end job. They recruit people, most importantly, their friends. They make it seem like they're going
Yeah.
to work together as best friends. And next thing you know, that guy that just recruited you is in the break room applying to other high-paying jobs and not telling you anything until it's too late.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, come work with me. It'll be
I love
fun.
it. It's great.
Yeah, it's the pay, it's awesome. Yeah. And then once you're there, it's like, oh, here's my replacement. Gotta go. Bye. Like, I just got hired at this other
Yeah.
place. Yeah, too bad. So this is like, as soon as that happened, this is what it reminded me of. Just like, oh, I've been there, man. I know what it's like.
Yeah.
Rocky calms the manager down and tells him that whatever he hired Don to do, he can do it also. The manager asks if he knows how to deep clean a restaurant. Rocky's narrating voice says, I didn't know a damn thing. Rocky inside the restaurant tells him yes. Rocky gets hired on the spot. The manager tells Rocky that it takes all night and that he's going to have to lock him inside the restaurant so he wouldn't steal anything. Rocky asks what would he steal from Chi-Chi's? The manager tells him they have some fine artwork and points at the picture of a Chihuahua eating a taco. Looks like a kid drew it, and it also looks like the Taco Bell Chihuahua.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I was wrong. The coffee's no longer the saddest storyline.
No.
This right here,
The
this
painting.
kind of cringy. The manager leaves and Rocky questions the legality of it. Is it legal? Lock someone inside a restaurant to clean? Who knows? In the next scene, Rocky explains that this is the reason why he came home ragged. The manager asks who the kid is. Rocky tells him it's his son and is going to help him through the night. So okay, for some reason I just felt like this was a filler episode.
I actually liked it. I thought it was funny.
It's like it felt like alright, so we're gonna show them bonding overnight. Like they didn't do anything else but bond overnight. Next scene, Dwayne asks Rocky why he didn't just say what he was doing the night before instead of lying and saying he was out with the boys. Rocky tells him because it would have taken too much time to convey. Dwayne says he could have shaved 5 minutes off of that story. Rocky tells him not to tell a storyteller how to tell a story. People love long stories. He should remember that. Dwayne takes a break from cleaning and goes off to play WrestleFest for a while. Hey, that's where the game came from. I wonder if the Prime Minister just stalked him or something. All right, cool. Rocky finds him and tells Dwayne he's in the video game also as a secret character. You can either play him in jeans or trunks. Dwayne doubts him and tells him to stop playing the gimmick around him. Rocky grabs a hold of the arcade joystick and starts saying up, up, down, down, punch. Or to jump. He's doing the Konami code on the WrestleFest arcade.
Where's the start button? Oh, was he doing the Contra?
Yeah. He's doing the Contra Konami code. The up, up, down, down, left, right, left, right.
AB, what is it? AB start?
AB start.
Yeah.
There's a up, down, left, right. AB start.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. WrestleFest. The game features 10 selectable wrestlers. Hulk Hogan, The Ultimate Warrior, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase, and Big Boss Man return from WWF Superstars. Jake the Snake Roberts, Earthquake, Mr. Perfect, Sergeant Slaughter, Demolition Smash, and Demolition Crush are available as new superstars, with Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal making appearance as a non-selectable boss tag team champions. So that was a little tidbit from WrestleFest. After coming back from commercial, they are having a father-son moment again. Rocky tells Dwayne, the manager, told him he could eat anything he wanted, so he made 2 chimichangas. Dwayne loves it. Rocky tells him to wait for the deep-fried ice cream or deep-fried anything.
Yeah.
They start experimenting with vegetables, some lettuce, Or it might have been a cabbage. Who knows?
That's what it looked like.
They both look the same. They throw in some onions, tomatoes, green peppers, cucumbers, all the fixings, all the greens. We're making ourselves a deep fried salad.
Yeah, basically.
They continued bonding all night. Later, Rocky asked his son when he stopped looking up to him. Dwayne tells him when he realized he wasn't a superhero, just a guy. This hurt Rocky's feelings. He wasn't expecting that answer from his son. That he is now a normal man with flaws and not the superstar of a wrestler that he once knew. Dwayne tells him at the end of the day, he knows Rocky's trying to make things better and doing whatever he can to support the family. Taking his job is one of them. Later down the road, he's working in a shipping company. But later, when Dwayne is in Canada and needs to ride back home, Rocky's working again, selling tech equipment from his van. No matter what happens or how he spends it, Rocky will always provide for his family up until Dwayne becomes the man he is now. 2032, Dwayne tells Randall he waited 16 years for a moment like that. It meant that he could trust his dad. Rocky tells Dwayne he didn't create these challenges for him. He wouldn't have this huge chip on his shoulder, which pushes him off to work his ass off and be better.
Yeah. That's how he got into Miami. He was
right.
Credit.
Exactly. Morning comes, the manager gets there, and the manager tells Rocky he mailed his check, but to call him and let him know he got the check. Dwayne tells the manager he shouldn't be locking people inside the store, and the painting is ugly. Rocky and Dwayne arrive home, and he looks at the check. He calls the manager to make sure the $8,000 is legit. The last time he got a huge amount of money in the mail, future endeavored.
Yeah.
The manager tells Rocky that he included all of Don's payback. He never came back to the restaurant to get his money, so it's Rocky's now for doing his own job as well. Back in 2033, Randall beats Dwayne using Mr. Perfect. It's better if you watch the episode. It's fun, but it's better if you watch the episode. Dwayne tells Randall he was trying to tell a story and wasn't focused. Randall celebrates too much. Finally, we see the Prime Minister, Angela Hong, being played by Dawn Lewis. Credits include playing Jaleesa Vincent on A Different World and Robin on Hanging with Mr. Cooper. She's also the voice in lots of animated shows and been a part of The Simpsons cast.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
The Prime Minister tells him she can't request the chef to make some fried ice cream just like they do at Chi-Chi's. Oh, shit, she is like in love with Dwayne. Randall then asks whatever happened to that place. Dwayne says he doesn't know. We see a shot at the ugly Chihuahua painting at the Chi-Chi's with the subtitles.
Yes, it's going on.
Chi-Chi's went out of business in 2005 after hepatitis A outbreak sickened over 600 people. Is that true?
I mean, back then we didn't have like Google and all that stuff. We were just told there was rats and stuff in the kitchen. At least at the one we went to.
Oh, okay. Leave it for actual people that know what really happened to update the IMDb page and remind the show that the restaurant shut down in 2004. In November 2003, a month after filing for Chapter 11 bankruptcy, Chi-Chi's was hit with the largest hepatitis A outbreak in U.S. history, with at least 4 deaths and 660 other victims of illness in the Pittsburgh area. That's in your side of town, buddy.
Well, I was in Maryland at the time, so maybe they were all different reasons, but wow. I didn't know about all that.
It includes high school students who caught the disease from the original victims. The hepatitis was traced back to green onions at the Chi-Chi's at Beaver Valley Mall near Monica, Pennsylvania, about 30 miles northwest of Pittsburgh.
It says painted green onion. Wow, what a fall from grace. That's what it says. That green, like that's what put you
out of business. Green onions. That's what kills you, green onions.
Jeez.
Oh man. Yeah, that was and that's how the show ends. That's real
Yeah.
crazy. All right. So, what'd you think of this episode?
I would give this one a 1. I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was fun.
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Okay.
It's not bad. It's like, yeah, like I guess it's a 1, but it's a 2 for me because there was that father son moment. I was expecting like a story,
No.
and the story. The entire from up to this point, episode 4, we see nothing but him in WWE, and then we get to the episode 4. It's like, all right, I'm gonna tell you one story that has to do with the past, and it's me and my dad. So that's kind of like threw it off.
Okay.
But I did like the fact that the memorabilia room and all that. It was fun.
Yeah.
So that concludes our first installment of Backdrops and Backlots. Join us next time as we continue to watch and review these awesome and sometimes horrible movies and shows involving wrestlers. Thank you for listening to the show and supporting us. You can find us on all sorts of social platforms on our Linktree at linktree.com/From Under the Apron. It has the link to our network, our Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all of our socials, plus our Good Pods, Spotify, and iTunes accounts, where you can listen to us as well as leave us a comment or a 5-star review, which helps us be discovered by other fans of wrestling and podcasts. I also have a Discord account. If you want to add me there, do so at $1,000,000Geek0945. Invite me to your channels. Check out the show notes for links to other podcast trailers that you heard on this episode. Send us a message of your favorite wrestling stories, questions, comments, ratings, or request either movies, shows, TV shows. We're doing that now. Either by email, it is FromUnderTheApron@gmail.com, and I will do my best to get to them and answer accordingly. Also, click on the link tree if you want to support our podcast in whatever way you can. Thank you for listening and being a huge part of our community. Join us next time and find out what kind of stories are swept as we come to you from Under the Apron. Now I want to try some deep fried ice cream.
I've had it. It's good. It's
Okay.
actually, you get that little crunch, like a little layer of crunch on it.
Oh, cool.
Seriously?
Like, I've never had it, so
Seriously? And I think it's a Mexican thing.
damn. Well, okay, I guess.
No, I didn't mean it like that. because we lived in California. Now, I'm not saying it like that. I'm saying we lived in California. They had it at Chevy.
Oh,
That's
cool.
what I'm saying.
I never, dude, the only many times I've been at Chevy's,
Yeah, they had that at Chevy's.
and I've never noticed that they had deep fried ice cream. I've never seen
You
it.
probably saw it on you probably saw it on somebody's plate, and because the crust over it is almost like a yellow, and you wouldn't think it's an ice cream on the inside of it. You would think it's like what do they call that, sweet corn? It kind of looked like the sweet corn. It was like a scoop, a ball, and it had that crunch over it, and it was like light brown. It would look like a scoop of brown rice or something.
Okay, cool. I have to check that out.
Yeah, no, it's good. No, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant that we lived in California for so long. I was surprised you didn't have it.
Yeah, never did. I'll have to see if there's some out here so I can go to it. Hey, let me get some deep fried ice cream.
Yeah.
Because now, because of this episode, damn. Because of this episode, I don't want
now. Yeah.
like, damn it, Dwayne. I want some deep fried ice cream now.